Yeah, yeah, yeah. You was saying that you love me, eyes looking past me, smiling in my face while your group chat blast me. Used to split plates, now I split these assets. You was trying to bleed me, I was trying to bless it. Yeah, I leveled up, made you feel so small, huh? Tried to stop my steps, thought I'd fall, huh? You was in the crowd when they booed that night. Funny how the hate still paid this life. Hidden in plain sight.
Ring-a-ding-ding. Hidden in Plain Sight is presented by OTD Productions for informational and commentary purposes only. The content you're about to see is based on publicly available information, ongoing reports, and alleged claims related to an active investigation. The views and opinions expressed are those of the host and are protected commentary, analysis, and discussion under applicable free speech and fair use laws. We encourage all viewers to conduct their own research and approach the program with critical thinking and respect for due process. This case will discuss topics where viewer discretion is advised. This episode may include descriptions of alleged events that some audiences may find sensitive or disturbing. All individuals discussed are presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law.
The autopsy has finally been revealed. What is going on, everybody? My name is Jazz. This is Jazz TV, and this is Hidden in Plain Sight. Oh my gosh. Hold on. Let me just lower my mic. Oh my goodness. Oh my. You know what? Let me just get right into it before I even give any commentary, okay? Hold on.
He's back in court today following the release of an autopsy report detailing the gruesome death of 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez.
David was charged with first-degree murder and mutilating a body after Hernandez's dismembered remains were found inside the trunk of his car at a Hollywood tow yard just last year. David has pleaded not guilty to all charges.
His lawyers are now pushing for prosecutors to quickly present their case in an effort to challenge the evidence against him.
NBC Los Angeles reporter Brittany Hope is live outside that courthouse for us. Brittany, first, the judge just set a preliminary hearing for May 1st and will allow the defense to view evidence ahead of that date. What else are we learning at this point?
Yeah, so we just got out of that hearing about 10 minutes ago. The big headline from this is simply how much data, how much evidence that we're dealing with. The district attorney's office, the prosecutors in this case, so that there's 40 terabytes of data that they're trying to figure out how to upload so that all parties involved can take a look. And this is an example. Over the past 4.5 to 5.
40 terabytes? Do you guys know how much data that is? 40 terabytes.
5 weeks, LAPD alone has been trying to upload all of their documents, their evidence. They've only gotten 30% done, and that's using multiple computers. So certainly there's an issue with technology in this digital age with so many iPhones and iPads and different devices that are being used.
Make no mistake, this is a little girl, a little child. Look at that. Allegedly, because the investigation is ongoing and we're going to see how this plays out. But 40 terabytes? Now we know why it's taken so long in the police investigation. Wow.
They're trying to figure out how to download all of that. Another issue that they talked about is all of the different pieces of evidence that need to be sealed that no one has seen yet. That includes grand jury transcripts, a wiretap that allegedly happened last year, and search warrants. Now,
A wiretap? A wiretap? Who do you think he was on the phone with? And if it's a wiretap, is there an informant? Did somebody flip? These are all questions that are going on in my mind right now. I don't know about y'all, but when I hear it, I process and I ask questions. That's all we can do right now until the trial begins.
Another big headline that came out of this is more details about David and his own personal devices and what those devices allegedly had on them. The prosecutor said that on David's iPhone, there is a significant amount of child porn.
Corn? Okay, so they just said there is 40 terabytes worth of data. And they just said on his iPhone, he had a significant amount of child porn. I have a feeling that as this case moves forward, it's going to get a lot more gruesome. It's going to get a lot more nasty. And it may be hard for some of you to hear. It's hard for me to even hear and to see that precious little girl's face. And to know as we get on and look through the autopsy and what was found, it's important we talk about these things. I know it's not glamorous. I know it's not The Devil Wears Prada or the new Michael Jackson movie. But this is important because this singer, D4vd, David Anthony Burke, allegedly has done serious, heinous acts. And to a child. This is so important because this isn't just like someone who has no influence. This is an individual who has multiple videos on their TikTok account with 20 million plus views. And a lot of times, because this individual is a young adult male, 21 years old. Apparently this occurred allegedly, he did this when he was 20 years old. Still a man. Yes, a young adult, but a adult nonetheless, and a 14-year-old girl. And if he had interactions, which is, if you don't know, he has 3 charges currently against him right now. First-degree murder with special circumstances, continuous essay of a child under the age of 14, and unlawful mutilation of the human remains of a missing teenager, which is Celeste Rivas Hernandez. So we got to talk about it, because individuals like this have direct access to our children. Music is so powerful, like I said in the previous live. Music is so powerful. It could either be used for good or bad. It's kind of like every superhero movie. And we need to discuss what's going on. Because who else, right? If right? This makes me think. The images of the child porn. Is it of Miss Hernandez? Is it of more children? Like, is he in a network? Is this connected somehow with entertainment? These are all things like popping up in my mind. I don't know about y'all, but let's continue watching the rest of this video and see what they have to say.
And because of that, because there's special rules and laws in place and protections, it's going to be an issue getting a lot of that information too.
Brittany, tell us more about the autopsy report. What did it show?
Pretty gruesome details. So we waited 7 months for this. Celeste's family waited 7 months. It was under seal because of a court order, because they want to protect the investigation. But we learned that she died of homicide, multiple stab wounds, at least 2 wounds in her.
So I believe one of his most popular songs, that's my dog, one of his most popular songs is Romantic Homicide. They just said they ruled her death a homicide. Coincidence? I don't know. You think about it. Sorry.
her chest. We know one wound pierced her liver. Brutal details that the family has said they're still trying to process.
All right, Brittany Hope live in Los Angeles for us. Brittany, thank you.
All right, so NBC News, they said it was gruesome. They didn't really give many details. And to be honest, I'm not sure I want to get too into detail as to how the body was found based off some of the articles I already read. Let's put it in. Hold on. And they're saying that apparently there were puncture wounds, as if he allegedly, screamed. Let's see. Let me go into news. Give me 1 second. Hope everybody's doing fantastic. If you're driving home from work, I hope you're just listening and not watching me. If you've made it home, what a blessing. It was a nice, warm, sunny day in New York, and I was very grateful for that. Let's see. Somebody says The Wire says they made David a star. Now they want him convicted of murder. What do you mean they want you convicted? Hold on. Let me go here. Look, this is what I was saying. They made David a star. Now they want him convicted of murder. Well, if you did the act, then we need justice. We need justice for our children out here. Every day a child is going missing. So if this is the case, then hell yeah. I don't know regarding what this technically is, but let's see. Let me click one of these. Let me find out. I'm trying to figure out. I want to click on a news source that doesn't lean any particular left or right. I think that's important because I don't want any biases. I'm out here for the truth. We want truth, integrity, and justice, right? What's right is right and what's wrong is wrong, no matter who, what, or it did. Let's go, I guess. Let's go CBS News. There we go. Let's do CBS. All right, switching over. Boom. Okay. You guys read it? All right, I want you guys to be able to physically see it with your eyes as I read it. Okay, so this is an article from CBS News. Again, it says David's cell phone contained significant amount of child porn, the LA County prosecutors say, and this is updated as of April 23rd, 2026, 1:38 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'm in New York, and it's almost 6, okay? So it says, during a court appearance on Thursday, Los Angeles County prosecutors said they've recovered, remember we heard this in the video, they've recovered more than 40 terabytes of digital evidence, including a significant amount of child pornography, in their case against singer David, who was charged with murder in connection with the death of 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez. Says the proceeding was initially scheduled as a preliminary hearing to determine if there was enough evidence for a David. If there was enough evidence for a David, whose real name is David Anthony Burke, to stand trial. For a David to stand trial? Come on. Look at that. Am I bugging? Am I reading that incorrectly? Or did they just not write that? It could be a typo. I don't know. All right. Instead, it says, both sides discussed the next steps in the case and scheduled a secondary status update conference for Wednesday, April 29th. The preliminary hearing is tentatively scheduled for May 1st. Okay, so preliminary hearing is on the docket for May 1st. I guess this is the image. Damn, the courtroom sketch artist made this guy look like one his eyes down here and one his eyes up here. Like, damn. Y'all see that, right? I'm not bugging. Look. Don't it look like one his eye down here and one of them over here? Or maybe he's just giving a side eye. Maybe this is what the side eye look like. I guess he ain't make it a turkey. Eh? Damn. It says on Thursday, 1 year to the day that Rivas Hernandez was believed to have been, Deputy District Attorney Beth Silverman told a Los Angeles County Superior Court judge that Burke's iPhone, remember, David Anthony Burke, so Burke is him. Burke's iPhone contained a significant amount of child pornography, and that 3 grand juries have heard evidence in the investigation thus far. Wow, so they're saying 3 separate grand juries have heard evidence regarding Mr. Burke and his connection to Miss Hernandez. Wow, they really had this on the wraps, because I ain't hear nothing about this. So it says, prosecutors said that the images were uncovered during a series of search warrants, but did not elaborate on the content. Okay, I guess for privacy reasons and because this is a child, safety, they probably don't want to disclose how horrific some of that evidence was. It says Silverman said that there was a voluminous. So when I hear voluminous, I think about back in the day, the hair commercials when they had all the girls and they were spraying like L'Oreal and Tresemme and voluminous curls. That's what I think about voluminous, like bountiful, a lot. And so CBS News is comparing the volume of data within Mr. Burke's phone to a voluminous. That's a lot. That's large. It says that had been recovered and estimated that they have over 40 terabytes of data. We got that. We heard that already. Let's go. Defense attorneys asked that the prosecutors provide as much basic discovery as possible during the proceeding. CBS News is awaiting a response. Okay. I want you guys, here it is. I don't want to keep reading the same thing. I want to talk a little bit about the autopsy, because what I read was quite disturbing, and I think that the people should understand just how serious and just how cooked Mr. Burke is. Forget about cooked. I'm thinking David Anthony Burke is finna be filleted and barbecued. I see a lot of creators talking about David's cooked. Nah, he was cooked in September. David is officially filleted and barbecued. It says Thursday's court appearance comes just a day after the Los Angeles County medical examiner released the results of Rivas Hernandez's autopsy, which revealed she died of multiple penetrating injuries to the torso. So let's click. Here it is. Okay. Just brace yourself as we skim through this article. I haven't read it yet, so I'm not sure. Let me skim through. I'm skimming through really quick before I start reading out. Look at this. Look at this. This is a little girl. Oh my gosh. And I want to make it clear that along with those charges that I read earlier, first degree murder with special circumstances, continuous SA, and mutilation, a life sentence of maximum life sentence is on the table, as well as death penalty. That's a little bit of a tongue twister for me. Statement to their legal so okay, right here it's only saying that it's multiple penetrating injuries caused by objects. I'm not sure if it was Law and Crime, but I believe it was, and it mentioned something about how badly decomposed the body was. So in addition to the manner to which she was killed with multiple stab wounds, he then allegedly dismembered her and put her in different bags in his Tesla trunk. So badly decomposed that when they found her, there were maggots. And this is her, this little girl right here. Do you see why, like, having conversations like this is important? This was a singer signed to one of the biggest record companies. One of the biggest record companies he was signed to. And he's out here singing songs, predatory songs, like Romantic Homicide, to an audience of children. He has an official song on Fortnite. Let me see. I'm interested. I'm interested in looking up to see just how many children actually play Fortnite. Because, again, like I said in the previous live, I don't play Fortnite. I've never played Fortnite. I've only heard about it through, like the internet. Let's see. How many kids play Fortnite? Let's see. Oh my gosh. Hold on. Jeez, look at this. Look at that. Look at that. Over 200 million people play Fortnite. With a massive, albeit unquantified, look at this. Look at that. With an unquantifiable number or portion being children and teenagers. Surveys indicate that over 60% of teens have played the game, with the heaviest player base estimated to be within the 11 to 13 age range. And this individual who is sitting in a prison, not a prison, he's in jail right now. Alright, let's do Fortnite and D4vd. Oh, look at this. And he has a... Holy mother... Yo, you see? Search engine. Hold on. Look at this. Look. He got a whole character? What in the actual... What? Wow, it says official September 3rd, 2025. We're not going to click that because we'll definitely get copyrighted, right? We'll definitely get copyrighted. And though Interscope dropped him, I'm sure the contract that he signed, they probably still collecting money. He probably not getting none. Well, I can't speak for that. I don't know how they're splitting it, especially since now he has been dropped. But they're definitely collecting funds, I'll tell you that. So look, D4vd, David locked and loaded official Fortnite Anthem 2025. Okay, and now it's saying Fortnite players call. Let me see if y'all can see this. Look, Fortnite players call for David removal after murder charges, April 21st. It says Fortnite fans have made it clear that they want accused murderer David Anthony Burke, known better by his stage name David, removed from the game. Before gaining fame as a singer-songwriter, Burke had ties to Fortnite that eventually led to collaborations with the game. Given the circumstances surrounding his recent arrest and pending trial, players have campaigned for Epic Games to remove anything associated with him. Which is crazy, because absolutely I believe that the developers of Fortnite know how many children are playing that game. Now, I know AI said it's an unquantifiable amount, but that 60%, at least 60%, that they know, at least 60% of those 200 million users are in fact underage or children. It says David has made headlines in recent months when the body of 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez was discovered in the front trunk of his Tesla. Okay, we know this already. I already told you about first-degree murder. Says the singer has pleaded not guilty again, and I want to say that David Anthony Burke, professionally known as David, has pleaded not guilty to all charges and he's presumed innocent until proven guilty. I just gotta cover my bases. Okay, so look at this. I guess these are tweets or X's. I'm not really sure if they still call them tweets since Elon bought Twitter. So it says, "Hi at Fortnite. The artist David was arrested for homicide and kidnapping. Would you please allow us to refund the following cosmetics as we'd wish to not support him." Ooh, feel it emote, locked and loaded jam track. What are you waiting for? Jam track morph. Okay, I don't actually know what any of those things are, but I guess those are like, you go to the game store and you buy stuff and now your character has it. I'm not fully sure. It says, despite never joining the Fortnite Icon series, David's music is in the game with the lock and loaded jam track. What are you waiting for? Jam track, trophy drop, emo, and feel it emo. He also had a personalized bundle in the game in April 2025. Players have made it clear they want everything removed regardless of the pending trial. It says an X post by Morpheus17 went viral on April 16th when the individual requested that Epic Games allow players who possess the David Jam tracks or emotes the ability to refund the items. Others followed suit across numerous social media platforms. Wow. It says Epic Games has yet to respond to these requests. That's interesting. I think that's very, very telling. Because Epic Games 100% knows about this situation, obviously, as it came to the news, as we all saw it. They know now, and yet they're keeping the track in there. Probably because this is just speculation. This is just me asking questions. Epic Games probably is keeping the song in there because they already paid that ninja. They already paid Interscope or whoever for the rights to that, and instead of doing the right thing, they probably want to make sure they recoup their investment. I don't know that as fact. These are just me asking questions and what potentially the suits could be thinking. Yeah, we know it's effed up. We know it's wrong. Yeah, but that song and how much we paid him, we haven't recouped that yet. We'll eat that as a loss if we take that out. So maybe we wait until what we paid him we have recouped plus 20%, and then we'll take it off. Again, I'm not in the room. I don't know if this is occurring, but these are the questions and the thoughts I'm thinking they might be saying. Okay. Ooh, it says, has anything like this happened before? It says, this is the first instance of anyone in Fortnite space facing felony criminal charges. Ooh, okay. Okay. Oh, that's Travis Scott. You see how they like to freaking like bait you, clickbait you? When you saw that on Google, it had a photo of this, and I'm like, damn, they had a thing? They had a character of him, but it's clearly Travis Scott. Anyway, wow. That's something else. They're keeping that in there. I think that says a lot about Epic Games. I think that says a lot about them. So we have to wait to May 1st. May 1st is going to be the preliminary hearing. So I think maybe we'll go live. I have to check my calendar. Hold on. And see if I have time available to even. May 1st is a Friday. Okay. May 1st is a Friday. So I'm thinking that the next episode of Hidden in Plain Sight will be that Friday, May 1st, and we'll go live and discuss the preliminary hearing. I want to be able to pull up at least one article that kind of detailed some of the shocking evidence that was found regarding the body of Miss Hernandez. Let me see. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and share. If you have any particular topics or cases you're interested in, or anything about scams, I think I'm about to get into that a little bit because I'm getting real tired of these scammers. I'm getting real tired of these scammers. Getting phone calls from Las Vegas. Well, I ain't never even been to Las Vegas, son. Like, please. Unsealed NBC News. Is that what we watched? Did we watch NBC News? We didn't watch. Content warning. Okay. Let's watch this one and see what NBC News, if they're going to discuss it. I'll be honest, I would rather pull up a news clip and have them tell you the more graphic information. That way, if I have any issues with YouTube later on, I could say, it wasn't me. I'm just commentating, bringing it to the people. So we just, we rather have them do it, not us. So let's go here. Let me just, boom, do that. Make sure that y'all can see it. Cool, alright? Boom. Alright, let's play this bad boy.
Singer David is back in court today following the release of an autopsy report detailing the gruesome death of 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez.
David was charged with first-degree murder and mutilating a body after Hernandez's dismembered remains were found inside the trunk of his car at a Hollywood tow yard just last year. David has pleaded not guilty to all charges.
His lawyers are now pushing for prosecutors to quickly present their case in an effort to challenge the evidence against him.
The big headline from this is simply how much data, how much evidence that we're dealing with. The district attorney's office, the prosecutors in this case, said that there's 40 terabytes of data that they're.
I feel like this is the same thing. I think that unless I was able to physically read the report, I'm thinking that a lot of the news outlets don't want to discuss how gruesome the body was based off the autopsy. And for good reason, because again, this is a child. And so I feel like the main factors that they want us, the people, to understand is just how much evidence and data and child porn was found within Mr. Burke's iPhone. I think that's the main thing. Let's listen to the rest of it, but I don't think news outlets are covering. Again, I saw this on YouTube. Maybe I could pull up Long Crime, but they might copyright me with, and I can't get mad at that. So, let me see.
We're trying to figure out how to upload so that all parties involved can take a look. The prosecutor said that on David's iPhone, there is a significant amount of child.
Okay, that's the consensus for today regarding David. A significant amount of child porn. So, he's a PDF file, allegedly. Although, is it alleged? Is it alleged because they just said on his iPhone, they found the child porn. So, is it safe to say David Anthony Burke is a PDF file? I'm going to throw in allegedly just in case, but I don't know if it's alleged. They said it was on his phone. Because if It's not? Is it not? If it's not your... How do you even... Well, I guess that's why he has lawyers. Because how are you explaining the child porn on your phone? Right? You're a DK famous celebrity and all this other stuff, so you always have your phone on you. You're guarding that. Your assistant is not uploading no child to your phone. I'm sure that's locked and tucked away in the deepest parts of his iPhone. So, allegedly, I just have to make sure because, you know, they coming for everybody these days. They are coming for everybody these days. Except for the people they need to be. Except for the people they need to be going after. They want to come after the little guys. Crazy work. Wow. So I wanted to talk about something else, okay? I went live today. I went live this morning and I was shaping some sourdough and I wanted to talk about surveillance pricing. Now, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that or what that is. But if this is allowed, buying groceries, buying our everyday products and supplies that we need is going to get even more difficult. It's going to get more expensive. And based off your data, what you pay for something is going to be completely different than your neighbor pays. Whether you actually have the funds to pay for it or not, based off your browsing history, they're going to change the prices on you. Yeah. Yup. So let's look at this AI overview and then we'll go into an article. Give me one sec. Okay. Here we go. Here it is. Surveillance pricing is a data-driven strategy. They're calling it a strategy. Yeah, it's strategic to bleed us dry, bleed our wallets dry. Surveillance pricing is a data-driven strategy where companies use AI and personal data such as location, browsing history, and device type to set individualized real-time prices based on consumers' estimated willingness to pay. That is the biggest thing right there. They're going to set prices on items you're interested in buying based off what they believe you're willing to pay or what they believe you can actually afford. Even if your wallet and your bank account is saying you can't afford to buy jeans right now that are over $40. You go to a store that has surveillance pricing, there is no price for jeans. They have a QR code. Scan this and enter our app. When you personally enter that app for those jeans could say a variety of different prices. It can tell you those jeans cost $55. Your budget's only $40. You thought, hey, I'm at Walmart or I'm at XYZ place. Jeans have never cost more than that. Now you go, you scan it, those jeans cost $55, right? And now the next person next to you, they might scan those jeans and those jeans say $48. So now Mary's paying $48 and you are paying $55 or whatever it is. And it will change. So think about that in regards to eggs. So imagine walking down your supermarket. You don't see prices for nothing. Maybe it's just a barcode, right? You have to download their app and now you're scanning. You scan your bananas. You scan your pasta. You scan your steak, right? And every time you scan it, a price is just gonna pop up. But everybody in the store that's scanning, different prices are popping up for different people. And you know, the more I, hold on, let me put my, the more, hold on, am I frozen? Frozen, hold on. Oh, nah. Can y'all still see me? I feel like we're frozen and I'm gonna have to stop the stream. Hold on. So cancel. Dang. All right, y'all. Can you hear me? We are frozen in time right now.